Alcohol and drug use while driving, impaired driving, Part 1. It is extremely harmful to use two or more medicines at once since they will interfere with each other's effects on your body and vice versa. It is impossible to predict the effects of mixing multiple medications, including alcohol, and they frequently pose a serious risk to life. For example, the danger of overdosing is much higher than if you take two doses of a single medication if you combine two drugs that have similar effects on the central nervous system, such as two stimulants or two depressants. The danger of overdose is nevertheless significantly increased even when two medications with different effects should ideally balance each other out, for example, a stimulant and a depressive. By boosting blood flow to your brain, one substance may intensify the effects of another when two separate compounds are acting on your body simultaneously. Alternately, one drug may slow liver function to the point where the effects of the other drug last considerably longer than they would otherwise. You run a far higher danger of passing out from a drug overdose as soon as you combine different drugs. Many of the tens of thousands of overdose victims who die each year all over the United States are later found to have two or more drugs in their systems. The same is true for drunk drivers who cause deadly road accidents. Frequently, toxicology findings reveal that the offending motorist was under the influence of multiple drugs at the time of the collision. It is extremely harmful to your ability to drive safely if you mix multiple intoxicants. One of three common outcomes can result from consuming many medications concurrently. 1. An additional result. When two chemicals interact biologically in similar ways, the combined effect is twice as potent. 2. An adverse outcome. Two chemicals will compete with one another when they have opposite biological effects. The user might observe that both drugs' effects seem to be waning. They will, however, be more prone to adverse effects including overdosing. 3. A beneficial interaction. A faster or more potent total effect may result from the interaction of two chemicals, which is greater than the sum of the individual effects of each substance. With many different drug combinations, this is the case. Mixing drugs and alcohol. The substance that is combined with other drugs the most frequently is alcohol. Alcohol can increase or decrease a drug's effectiveness when taken with prescription and over-the-counter drugs, leading to potentially harmful chemical interactions in the body. Combining drinking with illegal narcotics is extremely risky and unexpected. The principal action and potency of the substance, the latter of which is highly challenging to assess when the substance in issue is uncontrolled, will determine how the consequences of mixing alcohol with illicit narcotics will differ substantially. Alcohol and stimulants combined. The brain and central nervous system are sped up by stimulants including cocaine, methamphetamine, Adderall, amphetamine and dextroamphetamine, and Ritalin, methylphenidate. Alcohol, on the other hand, slows things down by depressing the central nervous system. Contrary to what you may expect, combining two medications with opposite effects rarely results in a lessened total effect from both. The negative effects of both medicines are frequently made worse by alcohol's combination with popular stimulant drugs. The pace at which the stimulant may be eliminated from your body will also be slowed down by alcohol in the liver, raising the possibility of overdosing. Alcohol and medication-supplied stimulants. The likelihood of developing major side effects, such as heart issues, strokes, or seizures, when taking prescription stimulants like Adderall with alcohol increases significantly. When these drugs are used with even a very little amount of alcohol, anxiety, nausea, dizziness, and lack of coordination are likely to occur. Due to the fact that people tend to drink more when under the influence of stimulants, using amphetamines or other comparable drugs while consuming alcohol also significantly increases the risk of alcohol poisoning. Driving when intoxicated by prescription stimulants or alcohol can result in a rise in rudeness toward other drivers on the road, an increase in taking more risks, inattentiveness caused by sickness and physical discomfort, difficulty carrying out simple actions, overreacting to little unforeseen circumstances on the road, failure to drive at a safe speed, the incapacity to recognize activities occurring around the vehicle. Cocaine and alcohol. Compared to consuming either drug alone, the risk of sudden death from an overdose is 20 times higher for people who use cocaine while drinking alcohol. Additionally, drinking alcohol seems to intensify the negative consequences of cocaine addiction on mood and behavior. You will be more prone to rapid mood swings and unexpected, Violent conduct while using both drugs. The combination chemical response of the two substances in the liver adds another risk to mixing cocaine and alcohol. Your liver creates the deadly molecule cocaethylene when it breaks down alcohol and cocaine combined, putting a significant deal of strain on all the body's organs and raising the likelihood that they may fail. Driving when intoxicated by cocaine or alcohol can result in traffic rage, extremely fast driving, continuous red lights, disregard for the right-of-way, managing multiple driving responsibilities with difficulty, methamphetamine and alcoholic beer. Some of the most deadly drug combos include alcohol and illicit methamphetamine. You will experience less intoxication overall, despite being more inebriated as a result of the interaction of the two medicines. To maintain a steady high, this typically results in taking more of both narcotics, thus raising the risk of overdose. Methamphetamine, like cocaine, can cause exceedingly irrational and violent behavior when mixed with alcohol. Driving when intoxicated by alcohol or meth can result in traffic rage, extremely fast driving, intentional danger, such as slamming another car, inability to carry out even the most fundamental actions, total contempt for the right-of-way, ignoring traffic signal timing, complete loss of control of the vehicle, combining alcohol with tranquilizers. Alcohol is a depressant of the central nervous system. Because alcohol depresses the brain and body, combining it with other depressants like benzodiazepines, barbiturates, and sedatives will have an even stronger and more harmful depressant impact. Unfortunately, a lot of people who use prescription depressants for anxiety, insomnia, and other conditions also consume alcohol to self-medicate and treat their symptoms. This may result in a variety of immediate and long-term health risks, such as blood pressure that is dangerously low and a sluggish heartbeat, extreme somnolence, unconsciousness, unsteady speech, distorted vision, severely hampered motor abilities and coordination, nausea and diarrhea, coma, death. Alcohol and drug use while driving, impaired driving, Part 2. As we previously indicated, taking 2 doses of 2 separate depressants typically results in a stronger effect than taking 2 doses of one depressant. Even when only a modest amount of each drug has been used, the danger of overdosing is very significant when alcohol and other depressive substances are combined. Driving while intoxicated or using a depressant substance can result in the inability to balance pedal control and steering, being unable to properly recline in the driver's seat, the incapacity to recognize dangers and properly react to them, incredibly sluggish reaction time, driving while fatigued, opioids and alcohol. Other central nervous system depressants include opioids like heroin, morphine, codeine, hydrocodone, and oxycodone, which are highly harmful when combined with alcohol. Alcohol and opiate usage together has a powerful double depressant effect that can seriously impair both mental and physical function. When painkillers and alcohol are combined, many people encounter low blood pressure and an irregular heartbeat, unstable cardiovascular system, nausea and diarrhea, total lack of restraint and inability to discern risk, abnormal conduct, severe wooziness, complete loss of motor skills and coordination, respiration stopping, consciousness loss, coma, death. Alcohol and drug misuse frequently has negative side effects, including irreversible brain damage. The combined depressive action of these 2 drugs slows the heartbeat and breathing to the point that the body runs out of oxygen, which causes the brain tissue to shut down. Alcohol and painkiller use will severely impair balance, coordination, and other motor skills, making regular tasks highly risky. Alcohol and opioid use while driving can result in a lack of control over speed, the inability to control the car or stay in one lane, the inability to keep upright posture while operating a vehicle, neglecting to buckle your seatbelt, perception of events around the vehicle is seriously hindered, unconsciousness while operating a vehicle, booze and hallucinogens combined. A wide range of psychoactive chemicals known as hallucinogens can result in hallucinations and a feeling of disassociation from one's own body. Among the substances in this category are LSD, marijuana, PCP, and ketamine. Alcohol and hallucinogenic drug interactions can have a wide range of consequences depending on the substance being used and the user's mental condition. When combining alcohol with any hallucinogenic substance, the likelihood of having scary hallucinations and other undesirable side effects greatly increases. Marijuana and alcohol. A variety of unpleasant physical side effects, such as nausea, vomiting, dizziness, and a sensation of acute intoxication, are likely to occur when alcohol and marijuana are combined. Because marijuana suppresses the gag reflex, people who take it together with alcohol may find themselves unable to throw up, increasing their risk of alcohol poisoning. When marijuana is combined with alcohol, its psychedelic and dissociative effects are likely to be more severe and can be quite distressing. The acute paranoia, cognitive dysfunction, inability to interact with their local environment, and separation from time and space are common side effects of alcohol and marijuana use. These two medicines have a much greater potential to significantly reduce driving ability than very few other chemical combinations. Driving when intoxicated by marijuana or alcohol can result in having trouble interpreting visual clues and judging space and moving traffic, both of which lead to a strong chance of errors being made when merging. Being unable to determine distance or keep a safe area around a vehicle. Poor steering response. Sloppy movement. Being unable to comprehend visual information, such as road signs, traffic signals and other roadway details. The incapacity to drive at a speed that is safe. Often, users will drive far below an appropriate speed based on roadway conditions. The incapacity to recognize or comprehend threats. Drinks and LSD. It is exceedingly dangerous to combine alcohol with LSD because the hallucinogen will only temporarily mask the effects of the former. As a result, the user will perceive themselves as being more sober than they actually are and be more tempted to drink too much. Alcohol intoxication, overdose, and death become much more likely as a result. Drinking alcohol increases the chance that taking LSD may result in a bad trip, where the user has extremely upsetting hallucinations. A user's ability to recuperate once the effects of LSD start to wear off will be impacted by alcohol usage, according to studies. When alcohol is involved, the crash you feel after the drug's first effects wear off will persist longer and be more severe. Vomiting and nausea are frequently present along with this. Combining alcohol and LSD appears to promote risk-taking behavior and decrease concern for personal safety, increasing the likelihood that someone on these two drugs may decide to drive. Mixing LSD and alcohol can result in strong and frequently distressing hallucinations, which can lead to sudden braking or swerving to escape potential dangers, swerving between lanes or disregarding the entire arrangement of the road, aiming to damage other road users after viewing them as adversaries, improper use of the steering, pedals, and controls in a vehicle, driving extremely fast or too slowly, driving against the traffic flow and in the wrong direction. Beverage and ketamine. The hallucinatory and dissociative effects of the drug ketamine are enhanced by alcohol consumption. The likelihood of users developing terrifying hallucinations and experiencing severe physical impairment is higher. Ketamine causes users to feel as though their muscles are heavy and unresponsive, and it also makes it difficult to move around. When alcohol is consumed together with the drug, this impact will be even more severe. It is quite improbable that you will be able to drive safely while in this condition, much less get into your automobile. Driving while intoxicated by ketamine and alcohol can result in being unable to raise one's seat in the driver's seat, not being able to buckle your seatbelt. Due to depressed posture, the road was very poorly visible. Accessible pedals and other vehicle controls are challenging. The inability to press the pedals and steering wheel firmly enough, sudden swerving or braking to escape potential road hazards. The inability to keep a safe distance between you and the car or to stay in your lane. The incapacity to pay attention to the task of driving or comprehend what is happening on the road around you. Psilocybin mushrooms and alcohol. Psilocybin mushrooms will have a stronger hallucinogenic impact when combined with alcohol. Alcohol may at first seem to soothe paranoia and other adverse effects of the mushrooms. However, when the user becomes more inebriated, these hallucinations can become extremely upsetting and can trigger violent behavior, high risk-taking, self-harm, and suicide. Driving when intoxicated or high on psilocybin mushrooms might result in sudden braking or swerving to escape potential dangers. Excessive paranoia causes him to overreact to small risks. Aggression against other drivers on the road. Difficulty with traffic signal interpretation. the incapacity to comprehend what is happening around your car. Intentional self-harm, such as speeding and crashing into things or off the side of the road. Alcohol and over-the-counter medicines together. Alcohol and drug use while driving, impaired driving, Part 3. Many people mistakenly believe that consuming alcohol while taking over-the-counter pharmaceuticals is harmless, despite the apparent risks of combining alcohol with illegal substances or prescriptions available only by prescription. After all, these medications are easily accessible and can be acquired without a doctor's prescription. Drugs, even those sold over the counter, are still drugs. When alcohol is added, they cause a chemical reaction in the body that can be quite harmful. Numerous over-the-counter drugs can cause organ damage, excessive sleepiness, increased alcohol intoxication, heart issues, and a number of other adverse effects when consumed with alcohol. Many common OTC medications become completely ineffective when alcohol is present in your bloodstream, even when the interaction is not very hazardous. Drug anti-inflammatories that are not steroidal and alcohols, NSAIDs. Alcohol does not interact well with over-the-counter anti-inflammatory pain relievers such as acetaminophen, aspirin, and ibuprofen. When used alone, these medications already have the potential to result in digestive problems like stomach pains, ulcers, liver damage, and damage to the stomach lining. When the medications are taken with alcohol, these negative side effects are more likely to happen. Additionally, when alcohol is already in the system and taxing the liver, the danger of overdose on NSAIDs is significantly higher. Medications for allergy, cold, and flu. OTC antihistamines like Benadryl, Zyrtec, and Claritin are frequently used to treat the symptoms of dust, pet, and pollen allergies. Numerous of the active chemicals in these drugs are also found in over-the-counter cold and flu remedies. Unfortunately, very few people consider the fact that taking these drugs with alcohol can be quite dangerous. Similar to alcohol, the majority of antihistamines are modest central nervous system depressants. As a result, drinking while taking an allergy medicine can have a significant depressive effect on the body, which may include extreme sleepiness, which makes driving more risky, dizziness, consciousness loss, dehydration, especially in older persons, liver damage, loss of memory, dementia risk is higher. Background drug and cough medicine. Since many over-the-counter cough syrups already include alcohol, mixing alcohol with them is never a good idea. Drinking while using a cough suppressant will probably cause extreme drunkenness. The active, cough-suppressing component dextromethorphan, which also happens to be a potent hallucinogen, is the basis for the majority of over-the-counter cough syrups. Cough syrup doesn't contain enough dextromethorphan in one dose to make you drunk or give you hallucinations, but alcohol makes the medicine work better. You may develop visual hallucinations, confusion, excessive drunkenness, and sleepiness if you drink alcohol while taking cough treatment. Never combine the two ingredients. Driving ability, over-the-counter drugs, and alcohols. The majority of OTC drugs interact with alcohol in a big enough way to affect your ability to drive. Keep in mind that any mental or physical impairment, no matter how slight, will make it harder for you to control your car and react to changes in the road in a timely and effective way. Driving while intoxicated and taking over-the-counter medications can result in overall slower reaction time, inability to concentrate while driving while fatigued or passing out at the wheel, decision-making and visual information processing challenges, poor speed control and sloppy maneuvering. As a driver, you are legally obligated to ensure you are mentally and physically fit to drive every time you get behind the wheel. Always read the label of any OTC medication you are taking and monitor yourself closely for any undesirable side effects which may render you unsafe to drive. Under no circumstance should you drink alcohol while using any OTC drug or prescription medication, especially if you intend to drive. You may believe that you are under the legal BAC limit and feeling perfectly fine, but keep in mind that the presence of other drugs in your system may increase your alcohol absorption rate or prevent your liver from eliminating alcohol effectively. The effects of different drug combinations. Using any combination of illegal drugs, prescription drugs or over-the-counter drugs will produce an array of unpredictable and often dangerous results. Taking multiple drugs at the same time is known as polydrug use. People who engage in polydrug abuse often do so for recreational or self-medication purposes. While different types of drugs interact with each other differently, combining any two drugs is likely to heighten the harmful effects of both substances. Let's look at the risks associated with some common drug combinations. Heroin and cocaine. Combining heroin with cocaine is a dangerous recreational practice known as speedballing. As heroin is a depressant and cocaine is a stimulant, users believe they can mix the substance to balance their experience. Speedballing carries an enormous risk of overdose and death, as cocaine puts a strain on the heart while heroin slows down respiration. As heroin's effects generally last longer than cocaine's, the user may be overcome by the heroin when the cocaine wears off. Taking heroin and cocaine, or any other powerful stimulant, together often leads users to feel less intoxicated than they truly are. As a result, they may believe that they are capable of driving safely. Getting behind the wheel while under the influence of heroin and cocaine would be incredibly stupid. You may feel relatively sober to begin with, but as soon as the cocaine begins to wear off, the depressant effect of the heroin will take over and you will suddenly become extremely impaired. Alcohol and drug use while driving. Impaired driving, Part 4. Cocaine and marijuana. This is another depressant-stimulant combination that can produce extremely dangerous results. As depressant like marijuana will seemingly reduce the effects of cocaine, the user may risk overdose by taking more of the stimulant. Studies have revealed that the combined action of marijuana and alcohol can lead to dangerously high blood pressure, fast heart rate and irregular cardiac rhythm. Let us not forget that cocaine can generate violence and marijuana is a hallucinogen. If a user has paranoia, anxiety or hallucinations as a result of the marijuana, they are more likely to lash out and behave in a way that endangers themselves or somebody else, if they also have cocaine in their system. This medication combination has considerable potential to cause aggressive, risk-taking driving behavior. Marijuana and opiates. Marijuana can potentially jeopardize your health when mixed with prescribed opiates such as oxycodone, or illicit opioids like heroin. As both medications display a depressive effect, the user is likely to feel considerable physical and mental impairment. Significant drops in body temperature are possible, and respiration and heart rate will slow. Additionally, individuals could have severe mental disorientation and hallucinate. You would be completely unfit to operate a motor vehicle if you combined marijuana with opiates. You wouldn't be able to calculate risk or make safe decisions in response to shifting circumstances due to cognitive impairment. Watch out for medication interactions. You must be aware of the interactions between the many substances you might choose to put in your body as a driver and a responsible young adult. You require this awareness to safeguard your physical and emotional well-being as well as to make sure you are always qualified to drive. Never take even a single aspirin without first checking to see whether anything else in your system can have a negative impact. When taken as prescribed and after carefully reading the warning notice on the packet, the majority of prescription and over-the-counter medications are safe. You still need to be on the lookout for any unforeseen negative effects. Alcohol consumption and drug use for recreational purposes are two different things. Since many recreational drugs are exceedingly deadly on their own, there will never be a completely safe way to combine diverse narcotics. You may be aware of the risks and make thoughtful, informed judgments before deciding to use any drug or consume alcohol if you are equipped with the knowledge in this article. Stay out of the driver's seat if you decide to take the chance.